taking them with you when they were not created to go with you. Everybody can't be saved the same time you save. Everybody can't serve God the same time you serve God. Sometimes you got to just go on by yourself and wait for God to get a hold of them. The problem is when we get saved, when we get sanctified, we get into this evangelism mode and we want to evangelize and witness to everybody. But you can't evangelize and witness to everybody when they're not meant to be witnessed to. So we have to make sure that we are in the right position at the right time. Thank you. We literally mess up when we take folk with us that are not supposed to go on that journey. Check this out. It not only hinders you, but it hinders them. So let's talk about this. You're witnessing to someone, pulling them along to church, thinking that it's going to get them saved. But all along, it's not their time, so now you've just hindered them. Because now they've developed a hate for church or a hate for God because you've pushed them when it wasn't their season. I mean, we all get into that mode, because we want to see everybody saved. Once we get saved, that's the hottest thing on the block. We want to get everybody saved, Hey, you know what? We walking up to folk in church. Are you saved? And then you've been sitting right there beside you the whole time. It's because we get so excited. That's true. And we want to pull everybody in. But are you damaging somebody by operating in something that's not their season? That's why Ecclesiastes says it's a time to sow and a time to reap. It's a time to plant and a time to take up which has been planted. So we have to make sure that we're operating in the right season, because what we'll do is we'll end up messing somebody up in the long run because we're so busy trying to pull them that God is not finished with them in the season that they're in now. Yeah. We just pull somebody out of their God-given season to bring them to what we thought was the right place, but at the wrong time. So, David says, before I go get anybody, check this out. The Amalekites took his family. If David had just saw it and went and got them and brought them back, maybe that was God's place for them, where the Amalekites took them because he knew that there was danger in Ziklag. See, we look at this thing one-dimensional. They stole my family. But what about the fact that maybe they didn't steal the family? Maybe God sent the family with them because there was danger lurking here. And God understood, if I leave them in Ziklag, they may die. So God said, I had to make it look like an ambush and take them away to protect them. Sometimes what looks like a bad situation, it's just God hiding you. While you're there. See, God understands. We don't understand it. God understands. See, you could be at your house and lose your house and have to end up in a hotel, and you're looking at this thing like, I got evicted from my house and now I'm living in a hotel, when really the house had faulty wiring, and if you had stayed there a little longer, your house would have caught on fire while you were asleep and you would have burnt up and died. But you so busy focused on the fact that you lost your house that you don't recognize that God just spared your life. You see how we look at things? The old saying used to be, is the glass half empty or half full? How do you look at your situation? And when you look at it, do you pray for correction and guidance? How many of us can say we just jump?
Jump. Get in trouble.
Let me give you an example. First lady and I have been planning our trip because it was worth fighting for. If David had a went and it was not worth fighting for, he would have died. He would have perished. Why? Because he took on a task that was not his assignment. When we begin to take on tasks that don't belong to us, we put our lives at danger. So, shifting to 1 Samuel 16, it is the story, familiar story again, of when Samuel goes to Jesse to anoint one of the sons for kingship.
Yeah.
Now, we shift. Okay, is it worth fighting for? But what happens when you're overlooked? Keep doing it.
Yes.
You know, David was overlooked by Samuel because, number one, David wasn't in the house. The other brothers were. Jesse called the other ones to the house to meet Samuel. But Samuel stayed in the field, tending to the sheep. David stayed in the field, tending to the sheep because that was his assignment. So even though he was overlooked, he said, me being overlooked does not change my assignment. Now, let's go back to the example from Sunday. You're praying. You're setting the atmosphere. You're doing an invocation. You're invoking God's presence. You're doing intercession. You're praying on other people's behalf. And you find yourself with people sitting in the room looking at you like you're crazy because they don't see the purpose in what you're doing. Do you stop your assignment or do you keep going?
You keep going.
That's
You
your
keep going.
assignment for the-
How do you keep going when you're constantly overlooked? David had to take a self-evaluation. Is this marriage? Is this family? Is my possessions all worth fighting for? Or do I leave it where it is? Because I understand that, guess what? The Amalekites couldn't take anything unless God had given the permission to. Everything that happens in life is according to God's plan. The only way it's deviated is if it won't in his plan. But everything is in his plan. God knows when we're going to backslide. God knows when we're going to go left. God knows when we're going to go right. How? Because he's got a plan to get us back on track already. That's why the Bible says take no thought for tomorrow will take care of itself. One day to us is 10,000 days to God, or 10 days, or whatever. It does not matter. The good thing about it is God is so far ahead of us, he already knows what's going to happen before it even happens. So what we have to do is make sure we ain't fighting for stuff that don't have no meaning no more. Now, 1 Samuel 16 is, how do you keep going when you're being overlooked? How, you're doing the right thing. You're trying to live holy. You're trying to be obedient to God. But you find yourself in a situation where you keep getting overlooked. I'm praying, I'm fasting, I'm reading the scriptures, I'm trying to go to church, Hey, I'm going there with that crazy little boy. They keep preaching about me every Sunday, and I know they're doing it on purpose, and he just preaching about me. I think I don't know that he preaching about me, but I know he preaching about me because he looking at me while he preaching. No, I ain't looking at you. I'm just telling you, dog, But the thing about it is, here it is, where it is one of those situations where, am I being overlooked from God or am I being overlooked by man? Which one carries more weight? God. If man overlooks you, so what? They're on the same level as you.
Yeah. It hurts sometimes though, to be real though.
It hurts sometimes.
To be overlooked.
Is that because you're carrying your heart on your shoulders?
Go ahead.
Sometimes.
Or on my head.
I mean, you look like on your head right now, but this way. But the thing about it is, it does hurt sometimes. But that's the flesh. That's why Jesus said, the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. I will to do right, but evil is always present. That it's like, we really have to have a prayer life. You really have to stay prayed up nowadays. This praying thing, it ain't no joke. I'll use, for example, Tata with the blade in her toe. It could have been worse.
Yeah.
But the reason it wasn't worse is because somebody had some prayer stored up over her life.
Yeah.
And God said, you know what? Because of these stored up prayers, you're going to shed a little blood, but your toe going to still be on your foot.
Yes, that's a blessing.
What I mean?
The blood of Jesus.
Look at how many things that could have been worse for you.
Yes, I got stabbed 17 times.
You got stabbed how many times?
17.
17 times.
I mean, not 17. I got stabbed one time with 17 stitches.
17 stitches.
Yeah, I could have died.
I was driving on the interstate today and came out the tunnel. I was bawling. I was doing about a good 85, and I looked to the right, and I saw one of my friends who had just gotten an accident.
And it could have been you.
Could have been me.
It happened that quick.
I tried to stop, but the tractor trailer wouldn't let me over because I was gonna go to check on him. So I
Why you
Facebooked
going
him real quick
85?
because I was trying to get here.
Okay.
I Facebooked him real quick. When I got to the end of the ramp, pulled over, and then I Facebooked
Okay,
him.
that's a blessing.
And I said, "Hey, are you on the interstate by the tunnel?" Yeah, I wasn't gonna text and drive, Facebook and drive this time. So I said, "Are you on the interstate by the tunnel?" And he said, "Yeah." You know, I said, "Are you okay?" Because I seen the accident. You know, he said, "Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks for checking on me, bro. I'll tell you about it later." I said, "Okay, good." Because see, I was at the foot of the interstate. I was going to get back on the interstate, go all the way back across the water, turn around, get back on the interstate so that I can get to where he was. And I don't even know him like that. He,
Well, that
married
was
one of
your
my, he
heart.
married my best friend.
That was your heart for that, but God
Yeah.
didn't let you do it.
Because I asked him, "Are you okay?" Because of the fact that, guess what? He may have been overlooked, but I won't overlook him. How many people have seen you stranded? I'm not even talking about in a vehicle. I'm talking about
Yeah.
spiritually. They see you running on empty, but they won't offer you no gas.
Well, I